Hello, welcome to the Gary Dunn Show for November 11th, 2019. I'm your host, Gary Smith, and on today's show, we're going to talk with Coach Dunn about this past weekend's action against Seton Hill on Senior Day, and then we're going to look at all the scores and standings around the PSAC, and then we're going to talk about this upcoming week's opponent, the Westchester Golden Rams. And today is Veterans Day, so thank you for service for all the veterans, and hope the day is going well.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Coach, welcome to the show. It's a beautiful Monday, and like you said when you came in, it's always good after getting the W.
It's always good after a win. Yeah, kids played hard. It wasn't the prettiest thing, but our guys played extremely hard. They fought, they battled. We were out of sync a little bit offensively early in the game, and then we kind of got rolling a little bit. But Seton Hill, give them credit. Tip your hat to them. They do a nice job with their defense. They are different than anybody else we play. They're basically all man covers. They're going to outnumber you in the box. Their goal is to not allow you to run the football at all and put pressure on your quarterback. Thought we did a really good job staying balanced. We didn't run for a ton of yards, but we committed to the run game with Nelson Brown and Richie Sykes and did enough in the run game. Got a couple big plays. We were a little out of sync in the pass game at times offensively. Thought we could have, we had some more opportunities, but we're not going to apologize for a nice, convincing win at home, and was happy with, the way the guys battled and competed.
And I tell you what, that's always one of the interesting things for me watching in the truck or wherever we're directing the game from, is that, like you said, Seton Hill came out, really played good, strong defense at first a little bit, but then seeing the adjustments the coaches on both sides make, and like you said, you stuck with the plan and then made a few adjustments, and then, like you said, we're rolling there at the end of the first half into the second half.
Yeah, Tyson Hill had a big play. Noah threw a nice ball. Tyson broke a couple tackles, and got into the end zone. That kind of got us rolling a little bit. But like I said, we had some opportunities we didn't take advantage of, and you got to give Seton Hill credit. They had a nice plan. They've got I think their secondary is really, really good, and that kind of allows them to do what they do defensively. They're going to play man coverage. They're going to outnumber you in the box and not allow you to run the ball. We did enough. But we still got things that obviously we're going to work on cleaning up today to, when we go and face a good Westchester team. Thought our defense battled all night long. That was kind of the deal going in is, Seton Hill throws the ball a ton. I think the week before against Indiana, they threw 50 sometimes, and I think it was in the high 40s against us. You got to defend the pass, and they've got some really good athletes out in space. I thought we tackled well. We gave up a couple big plays late that our defensive staff was not real happy about. But the kids battled and competed, and it was a good bounce back for us.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth about the defense. Held Seton Hill to negative 13 yards rushing for the game. And that's been kind of the hallmark for your team on the defense, of just taking that rushing game and saying that's not going to be an option today. And then couple turnovers, couple fumble recoveries, interception. That sounds like a broken record. Seems like pretty much, I think, all except one game this year had an interception. And that interception early in the game really got the ball rolling set the offense up, and I believe you guys scored on that ensuing drive.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time, our defensive coaches spent a lot of time in the spring and in the fall camp and continuing throughout the season of talking about creating turnovers. And, I was watching Mike Tomlin's press conference last night. He said the same thing. That's what football boils down to. We took care of the ball offensively. I don't think we turned it over, if I can remember correctly, and we created some turnovers, and that's huge for us. But our defense competed and battled. Those guys are playing with effort right now. We've got to, kind of eliminate those couple big plays at the end. But, we battled and competed and was thrilled for them on that end.
Well, one of the things, like you said, just watching in the truck and stuff, what I like watching about your defense, it's not, when plays are made, it's not one black jersey at the ball or two. I mean, you got an entire unit swarming to the ball at almost every play.
Yeah, and we knew going in that they probably weren't going to try and run it much. Teams are going to try and keep you honest and run a little bit, but we felt really good about our run defense and was happy with the way we played on the back end. But a lot of that is guys rallying to the ball. I'll tell you, Gerald Brown made a play in that game on a pass downfield. He's a defensive tackle hustling 10, 15 yards downfield to put a hit on a receiver that had the ball. That's the kind of effort those guys are giving right there. And when we do that, when we fly to the ball, that's when we create turnovers and fumbles and was happy with the effort, but we still got, I think we got a little more to give this week.
Well, and I tell you what, before we talk about this week and look at the highlights, it was Senior Day on Saturday, and it's always a bittersweet moment. What was it like for you just to see that group of seniors out there for their last game at Adamson Stadium.
Yeah, it's a tough day. I told you last week I don't like senior day at all. I don't like graduation. I want these guys to just stay forever and play. But they've been a really good group. They're a group that I feel really good about our senior leadership. I think they've left their mark on this program and how we kind of operate and some of the things that we do. They've been, they've totally bought in. And it's a good group of guys. I know they're going to be successful in life's work because of how they work and they prepare and they do it the right way. And they, I don't want to see them go. I'll probably be a little emotional Saturday for their last game, but it's a good group and we're obviously going to miss them.
I tell you what, the way you have the alumni coming back, some of those guys will be on the sideline probably next year rooting on the 2020 Vulcans. But that's just testament to your staff building those relationships, not only once the whistle's done blowing, but continuing on into their professional lives.
I've already talked to them a couple about it. That's always the hardest thing for guys is you've played football and obviously a couple of them will hope to have an opportunity to continue playing, but you've played football your entire life and then one day you just don't play anymore, and that's the hard adjustment. So I know those guys always come back. Now they won't miss the 6 a.m. winter workouts and that kind of thing, but they're definitely going to miss Saturdays at Adamson Stadium.
And it's always a special time at Adamson Stadium on Saturday. Let's take a look back at this very special Saturday. It was senior day against a local rival, the Seton Hill Griffins. And after the break, we'll talk about this upcoming week's opponent, the Westchester Golden Rams. You're watching the Gary Dunn Show right here on CUTV.
Here he is dropping back to throw, going with a screen look to the outside. Couldn't quite hold on to this one. And it's going to be fumbled, I do believe. California should have it back. Back to throw, Barabe feeling some heat around the outside. I don't think he sees him. Still trying to get a hold of this one. Found a man. It's going to be intercepted by California. There goes Garnett the other way across the 40. He's a drop back from Mitchell across the middle. Hits Tyson Hill. Tyson Hill flips right over top of a man, breaking for the end zone. Can he get there? Still on his feet. Muscling into the end zone. Touchdown, Vulcans. Tyson Hill with an unbelievable showing of strength. Here it is. Brown this time once again falling forward, and that time Hill break on into the end zone. Touchdown, Vulcans. Nelson Brown getting it done. Here it is, a drop back, feeling some pressure as Mitchell stands in the pocket, delivers a dart, and it's going to go to Caraway. Touchdown, Vulcans. Caraway able to keep his focus and bring that one into the end zone. As the punt is blocked by California, rolling around still near that 30-yard line, and Seton Hill will touch it up. Griffins trying to push it in tight, and they break their way into the end zone. Touchdown, Griffins. Big man touchdown alert here. Fullback taking it straight in. It's going to be Mitchell faking, going for the end zone, and Caraway in the end zone once again. Touchdown, Vulcans.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Consider the future. Your future. At California University of Pennsylvania, you can build your life your way because we believe in you. We invest in you, empower you to create the future you envision. We give you the tools and teaching so you can rise up and achieve. Don't settle for someone else's vision of you. Build you at CalU. Visit us at calu.edu.
And welcome back to the Gary Dunn Show for today's Veterans Day edition. I'm Gary Smith along with Coach Dunn. And once again, thank you to all the veterans for your service.
Absolutely, thank you for your service.
Enjoy the day. I think when I came in this morning, it was a nice day outside. I hope it stays like that. I know we got some cold weather coming in. That's November, and November football means cold weather. And this week, team goes on the road to a team we haven't played in a minute or two, the Westchester Golden Rams, and a team that, both Cal and Westchester are, I think, records are pretty much identical, and it's going to be a good college football game. I know you started watching film on them. What do they bring?
They bring a lot. They're a really good team, well coached offensively, some big skill players. They try and stay balanced. They'll do some quarterback run stuff, big up front, big offensive line, physical. The thing that jumps off the film on both sides of the ball is a physical bunch on both offense and defense. But they got nice offense. Defensively, they're a four down front that do a lot of different things. They'll double some receivers. They'll give you, they change it up quite a bit. But I think that the strength of their defense is probably their front four. Two really big defensive tackles in there. A nice middle linebacker, very active. So it's going to be a test. Westchester's a good team. They've kind of ran the East out there the last couple of years. Kutztown caught them up just like they did us, and so it's two good football teams. The last game of the year, and I know our guys will be excited.
And Coach, this is a team that Cal hasn't seen in a few years. What's the preparation like? I mean, obviously in the West, you have film going back about 80 years on every team, but a team that you don't see every week or a cross-divisional opponent. Like, how far back in film do you look? I mean, is the process different since obviously you don't see them every year?
Yeah, you got to spend a little extra time getting to know them. But we exchange every game, mm-hmm. So we have 10 on them, 10 game films on them. They have 10 on us, and typically teams that you go back to the last 3 or 4 games where you're going to study their last 3 or 4 to see. We've went back probably a little bit further on Westchester. That's the thing about coaches, we're crazy. And this time of year, you always feel like you could be doing more because you have so many game films. So early in the week, we really try and pick out teams that are similar to us offensively to watch their defense and how they adjusted to teams that, Kutztown's a similar offense to us. Westchester's a similar offense to Kutztown. So there's some familiarity there. But we go back, and then Thursday, Friday, later in the week, I'll watch game 1, game 2, game 3 to just kind of see if there's any last things you can pick up. That's why I don't like Fridays, because you don't want to put anything else in your game plan. You want to be done, but you're still watching film to kind of get a feel of the opponent all week. So, really well-coached team, very similar to Kutztown. It's going to be a test, and I know our guys will be fired up for it.
We talked a little bit about it, 2 weeks ago whenever visit Slippery Rock. I believe this weekend is going to be, I saw on the schedule, Westchester Senior Day. Just touch on again what it's like going in to another opponent's Senior Day, because we talked a little bit about how emotional and how fired up you are as a team, but what's it like trying to go out there and deflate that balloon a little bit?
Yeah, they're obviously going to try and honor their seniors and play hard for them, but at the end of the day, once the ball's kicked off, none of that stuff really matters. And I talked to my seniors about this week that, hey, enjoy it, enjoy celebrating their families and everything that they did for them to get to this point. But when you're done with that and we come back out of the locker room for the game, all that stuff's done. So, I'm sure Coach Swan out there is preaching the same thing. But once the ball's kicked off, it's 60 minutes, and I'm not sure any of that else plays a factor. At least in my mind, it doesn't.
Well, make sure this Saturday after 1 o'clock at Westchester, before we do all the fun stuff about giving all the information, let's take a look back and put a bow on everything in the PSAC. Let's look back at the schedules or the scores from this past weekend. First, last weekend of divisional play in the PSAC, we see Cal and Seton Hill 28-14. A lot of big numbers this week, a couple 50-point tallies across the PSAC. Mercier's 57, Clarion 10 at Clarion. IUP holding serve against Edinburgh 35-6, and then Slippery Rock over Gannon 56-7. When I believe I saw some pictures, I think there might have been some snow early in that game. So again, if you're going to Erie, it's now the snow time. So good luck to everyone up there.
Yeah.
Now moving over to the other side of the Susquehanna with the scores. Kutztown capping off their undefeated divisional play, 37-17 over Millersville. Westchester getting 50 against Lock Haven, 56-14. The game of the week and the game we were kind of paying attention to while we were setting up, Bloomsburg was ahead of Shepherd for a long period of that time, and then Shepherd coming back and getting the win at Bloomsburg, 42-35, and then Shippensburg getting the win against East Stroudsburg. We flip over. Go ahead, Coach.
There was snow I'm watching the Lock Haven Westchester game. There was snow on the mountaintops up in Lock Haven too. Glad it stayed up there and didn't come our way.
Yeah, they can keep it up there. Anything above I-80 this time of year, God bless you up there. So moving over to the PSAC standings after the final round of divisional play. See a lot of good records there. 10-0, 9-1, 7-3, and then Mercer, Edinburgh, Seton Hill, Clarion. Looking over at the PSAC East, very similar records, just everybody in a different organization. Kutztown 10-0, so that means Kutztown and Slippery Rock will be playing this weekend in the PSAC state game, and we can look at that schedule this week. See Kyle at Westchester, 1 o'clock. As of about 30 minutes ago when I checked the PSAC site, the official time was TBA for Slippery Rock Kutztown, so if you want to follow that, keep checking the PSACsports.org site. Edinburgh at Bloom. There should be a space, not Edinburgh at.
There's the
one
right?
for the week. And the funny thing is, I actually had it misspelled. I fixed Edinburgh, but I forgot the space. Mercer, Millersville, Seton Hill, Shepherd. There's two, Shippensburg, Gannon, and
That's all right. Late in the season, we're all grinding at this point, right?
Yeah, it's a holiday. But other than our game, other than the state game, what would be the game a fan of the PSAC should keep an eye on?
Yeah, Edinburgh, Bloomsburg, I think that's going to be a really good game. Both physical teams, two I think, really good defenses. I'd check out that Edinburgh, Bloomsburg game.
And that's it. That's right from the coach. So
That's it.
once again, 1 o'clock on Saturday at Westchester. What time are you guys leaving for the game on Friday?
We're going to leave Friday morning. Okay. We're going to get off campus, leave Friday morning. It's probably our furthest trip other than that first game, the furthest trip in the PSAC. So get the guys off campus a little bit and let them relax a little bit.
Okay, yeah, that's never fun to sit on a bus for 4 hours, especially going out there. And I know when we've gone out there before, it's whatever time of day you go, you get to that the turnpike and it just comes to gridlock. So
I've been on a lot worse trips, so we're going to enjoy it. Our guys, I think it's good to be on the road sometimes. They bond, they spend time together. We'll get to the hotel and they'll have some free time to hang out with each other. It's good sometimes for us to be on the road. I know we've got a lot of guys from the eastern part of the state that are looking forward to playing, back in their backyard. So it'll be a good trip.
They took the question out of my mouth. I was going to ask about, friends and family from out there, and also I know the last couple of times we've been out there, you've had a lot of alumni support out there.
Yeah.
It always seems like you have alumni support, but it seems on the East you have to. There's the people printing the sideline passes going to overtime.
I've had some calls of some alumni that are coming. I think some other guys are probably waiting to see what the weather's going to be out there, but I'm sure we'll have some guys in. And I know I've had 3 or 4 former teammates that have said they're going to make the trip out, that live out in Philly. So it'll be great to see those guys.
So if you're watching this live on YouTube or later on YouTube and you're in the Philly area, come out and see
Let's
Coach
go.
Dunn. Important game against Westchester. Busy week this week. We'll be radio only for our coverage. There's with PSAC network requirements, we have to keep people back. But Colin Kirkwood will be out there on the coverage, so you can watch the Westchester feed, but also turn their audio down and turn on Colin, and it'll be very similar. Or, like I said, just jump in the car and come on out and dress in the red and black. And I know there's a lot of good winter Vulcan jackets and coats and hats on the Cal Vulcan site on the new. So order yourself some stuff up.
Order something. Let's get to the game out. For our people out east, we need your help this week. Come on out and enjoy some college football.
So for Coach Dunn, we'll hope to see you out there on Saturday. If not, we'll see you next week on the Gary Dunn Show. You've been watching the Gary Dunn Show live on CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube, tape delay on YouTube, tape delay on CUTV, and then we also will be having the audio on WCAL. So hope if you can prove you've watched the Gary Dunn Show on every medium, we'll send you a shirt or something.
There you go.
Like that.
Absolutely.
So for Coach Dunn, I'm Gary Smith. We'll see you next time on the Gary Dunn Show.